Hello, you're welcome to Blenera Fashion Line. I am Blessing Banjo. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. And in case you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to this YouTube channel for awesome tutorials, sewing tutorials. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a flare dress, as you can see on the thumbnail. And let's begin right away. One thing we'll be learning in this tutorial also is on how to actually manage your fabric. This is a crepe fabric. And it is 2.5 yards, and we are going to be managing it in this tutorial. So the first thing is that you take your hip measurement, and the hip measurement is 38. The hip measurement I'm working with is 38. I'll be adding 26 inches to it. That will be 64 inches. So, and then I folded 64 into 4. So you can see we have 1, we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have, I'm going to cut this piece half now. So I folded it into 64 inches, and I've been able to pin it down because it's actually not stable, and I need something stable for this tutorial. So the first thing now, after folding it into 4, so I said earlier that we'll have 68 inches. So if you fold 68 into 4, that should be 17 inches, and that's what we have here, 17 inches. So the next thing is I want to mark a straight line, which will serve as a guideline for me. I want to mark, I think I'll even come down more. I need to come down, and I need to hold this place also with pin. So we have a guideline already. I have a guideline which I'll also call my shoulder line. So this line here, I'll call it my shoulder line. This first line. And then after marking my shoulder line, the next thing I'll do is to mark my shoulder, and my shoulder is 15, that's 7.5, and then I'm going to slant it by 1 inch. 7.5. So just to be accurate, I'll place it here. I'm just trying to be accurate. 7.5 again, and then let's mark the armhole depth. The formula for finding the armhole depth, the formula for getting the armhole depth is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is 7.5. But I'll be adding 0.25 inch to it because it's actually a flare dress, so I need all the his allowance. So I'll make it 7.75. So what I'll do is, remember the 7.75 plus the 1 inch that we came down here with, that'll be 8.75. So I just want to mark the 8.75 here also. I'll mark it here also, just to be on the safe side. So, and then I'll mark a straight line. So after getting this, I'll mark my 7.5 also, my shoulder, because I need a straight line here, and then I'll connect together. So you can see I've connected it to this one hinge that we came down here by. So what I'll do is to just mark my neck width, the standard neck width. But for this tutorial, I'm not going to be using 3 because I want a turtleneck. I want a turtleneck, so I won't use 3. I will use 2.75. I will use 2.75 in this tutorial, and then for the neck width, I'm using 2.75, and for the neck depth also, I'm using 2.75. Remember, it's going to have a turtleneck. So first, I need to connect this to the slanted line, the one hinge that was slanted. So I've connected from here to the one hinge that was slanted, and then I need to confirm again that this is 2.75. I don't want anything exceeding 2.75. 2.75. So please take note. Sometimes your chalk might take about 0.25. So now that we have been able to mark the chest line, so this is the chest line. Remember, this is the chest line. This is the shoulder line. This line here is the shoulder line. So now let's mark the bust. The bust is 37 divided by 4 is 9.25. So the bust is 37 divided by 4 is 9.25. So I'll be adding his allowance of 1 inch, but let me make it 0.75, and then sewing allowance of 1 inch. I hope you got that. I added his allowance because it's a flare dress, so I don't really want too much tightness, and then I added the sewing allowance. So I hope you got that. So now the next thing is this. Here I won't be marking the waistline, we'll just go to the hemline, and as you can see, the style we are making, the dress length is 40. The dress length we are working with here, is 40, and there will be ruffles at the lower part. So I will make the ruffles about 8 inch. So the ruffles will be about 8 inch, and then I'll deduct it from the 40, so we have 32 inch. So we have 32. So from this line here, I'll mark 32. So yeah, we have 32 inch. We have 32 inch here, and then I'll mark the hip measurement. The hip measurement is 38 divided by 4. We have 9.5. When I started, I said the hip measurement is 38, and then I said I added 26 inch to hip. So the reason why I added 26 inches is this. So please follow me. So now you would notice that this is 9.5, and then I will add 5 inch to it here. I hope you understand. I'll add 5 inch. So you know this is 5 inch. 5 times 4, that's 20, right? That's 20. So plus this 9.5, that's 29.5. So we still have some allowance here. So I'll just add 1 inch sewing allowance here also. So I hope you understand why I said I added 26 inch to 38 inch. So for yours, it totally depends on how full you want it to be. So for 5 inch is actually okay. 5 inch is very okay. So I added 5 inch, and then I added sewing allowance. So for the bust line, I have also added 1 inch sewing allowance. So now the next thing is to just connect them together. Can you see? I'm just going to connect with my long ruler. I'm going to connect them together like so. Yeah, so I've been able to connect them together. So the next thing we'll do now is to just come up here and then work on the upper part. Okay, before we do that, we need to add sewing allowance here. That's 0.5 inch. So coming to this upper side, remember I'm using 2.75 by 2.75. So I'm going to connect them together. For the back, I'm using 1 inch. For the back, I'm using just 1 inch for the back. So I have been able to draw the necklines for the front and back. The only thing is just that I have to add sewing allowance to the neckline. So remember, we are using 0.5 inch sewing allowance. I've added sewing allowance for all the necklines and also for the shoulder. I've added sewing allowance for the shoulder. So here I will get the middle point. So for the middle point, come in by 0.5. So let me connect. I hope you are following me. So adding the sewing allowance now, always add your sewing allowance, which is 0.5. So I've been able to add the sewing allowance. So just to be very accurate, I'm going to cut the back first. So now since this is the back, we are cutting the back first, as I said, and this is the sewing allowance. So just watch me as I cut it. I'm removing the pins I used. So can you see that? I'm actually done cutting. The next thing now is to just remove this inner part. I'll remove it. Did you see that? So I've been able to cut the neck. So I'm done cutting the front and the back. So in this case, because of the turtleneck, we actually don't need to cut any facing. You don't need to cut a facing. All right, this is the back. This is the back. So what I want to do is to just cut this out. I'm going to cut it out because it's going to have a button at the back. So what I'll do is to just split it by 3 inch or 4. So you can see this is the middle, and then I'll just slice it down like this. I think this is okay. So please don't mind this on the table. My boy actually wrote on the table. So don't mind these writings. I'm here to get something to clean it. Probably a chemical that will clean those things up. So the next step is to join the shoulders together. And then after I'm done joining the shoulder together, the reason why I'm not cutting a separate facing for this style is because of the style we are working with is having a turtleneck. So I'm going to be using the the bishop collar, also called bishop collar. I'm going to be using it to turn it to finish up the edge here. So that's why I'm not cutting a facing. So what I'll do is this: I have a bias here. So I'm going to use the bias. I'm going to join the shoulder together, half hinge. Remember, this is a half hinge. So I'm going to, after joining the shoulder together, I'll use this bias to finish it up. I'll use the bias to finish it up. Or if you are not going to do it that way, then there's another method. You first join right side to right side. So this is the right side. So you first, so like this is the wrong side and this is the wrong side. This is the wrong side, this is the wrong side. So I'll join it together first. So this is what I'm going to be going for. So I'm going to join it together like so. So it means the wrong side and wrong side are facing each other. Then I'm going to join the shoulder. I'm going to do like 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. So what I will now do is this: after joining it together, I will now turn it to the other side and then join it by 0.25, making 0.5 hinge. Then for the side also, I'm going to do the same for the two sides. So for the side, I'll join the right side together first. You can see I'll pin it, join it together. Remember, we are using 1 hinge sewing allowance, so I'll join it by 0.5 hinge first on the two sides. I'm going to be doing all this on the sewing machine, but I just want you to understand. So I'm going to join it by 0.5 hinge on both sides first. Then after doing that, I'll connect it, I will turn it to the wrong side and then sew by 0.5 hinge. So that's what I'm going to be doing. After that, I'm going to show you what we have. I'm done joining this. I remember I said you first join wrong side facing wrong side. So it means this is the right side here. I need to say this, that you remember we are going to be sewing by 0.5 hinge sewing allowance inside here. So what you have to do is this: you have to cut off this 0.5 hinge. You have to cut this off on both sides, because if you are going to be sewing by 0.5 hinge sewing allowance here, some part might be showing. So it's better you trim it off. And then here also, you also have to trim it off a little bit so that it won't, when you are sewing, after sewing, it won't obstruct. Threads will not be showing. So you just cut it out this way. This method will work for you of sewing, knit finishing, in case you don't have an interlocking machine. So this method would work perfectly for you. Then you now turn it to the wrong side. So this is the wrong side. Can you see? So what we just do is this: then you now sew your 0.5 hinge on both sides. We finish up also by 0.25. I've been able to work on that. What I did at the lower side is that I hemmed it because of the style we'll be making. And then I've been able to work on the ruffles also. I have 5 yards here. Now that I've been able to work on this, then the next thing I'll just do is to attach the ruffles to the body of the dress. And this is how we'll do it. We'll be placing it on the body of the dress. Did you see how I'm placing it? I'll be placing it this way, and then let me pin it down. This is the reason why I hemmed the lower part. So I'm going to do the same for the second part also. I'm going to just fix it this way. And remember, I said my ruffles is 5 yards, so I won't gather it. And remember, I'm coming up by 0.75 hinge, so I'll just place my machine on it. So about 0.75 hinge. I hope you understand. It means I came up, I'll be sewing that, but I came up by 0.75 inch, and then I'll just place my machine on it. So I won't gather it, I'll just pleat. So I came up by 0.75 inch and I pinned it down. So did you see what I'm trying to achieve? So I won't do gathers. It's going to be pleated and it's going to be very full. So that's the next stage, fixing the ruffles to the bodies. And then after doing that, I would use my bias to finish up just this place. To finish off this place, I'll use my bias and then we'll come back. For the dress, so this is what we have right now. I've been able to cut the collar. You can see, in case you don't know how to cut a mandarin collar, please, I have a video on how to draft a mandarin collar, so kindly check it out. By cutting it, so you don't cut it like this. It is better you cut it on bias fold. So it's bias fold. When we say bias fold like this, then you place your collar and then you cut. So this was how I cut my bias fold. The reason for doing this is so that it would rest well on the neck. And then this is the dress. You can see it looking so beautiful. And then so I've been able to pipe the neckline here. Can you see that? I've been able to pipe it with a bias tape, and then I've been able to cut out the sleeve for the mandarin collar. For the mandarin collar, I will be attaching stay to this part, just one area. I'm going to be attaching stay here throughout. I'll be using hair stay, so I'll iron hair stay on just one part, and then I'll place them on each other this way after applying hair stay, and then I'm going to sew on 0.5 inch. So I'm going to show you when I'm done. For the sleeve also, remember the way I did for the front. I placed the wrong side and the wrong side together. So this is the wrong side here, where I chalked. So I would first sew this the hem of the sleeve by 1 inch. I'll sew it by 1 inch, and then I would, after sewing it by 1 inch, I would now pin and sew wrong side to wrong side, and then I'll turn it again and sew right side to right side, just to achieve a neat finishing. So, and then I'll do the same first for the second sleeve. I've been able to fix the sleeve, and then we have just the neckline left, the mandarin collar to fix. So if your shoulder is 16 or 15 and you want to fix a puff sleeve, I would advise that you reduce it to 14 so that it will stay well on your neck. I've been able to join the turtleneck. The only thing left for me is to iron it, but I need to show you something. For the ironing now, I want to show you while sewing that what I did. So if you can see this, you would notice that I folded the 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Did you notice that I folded the 1/2 inch sewing allowance inside? So the next thing I'll do is to just iron it together. I also did the same thing here. Did you see that? I folded it inside, both for the front. I didn't join it straight. I didn't, like, look at this place, and when I was joining, I didn't just join it straight. Do you get? At the edge, I didn't join it straight. I folded it this way. So I've been able to iron my mandarin collar. Did you see? I folded it into 2. So I'll just follow the folded lines. Did you see that? So what I'll do is to just fix it. I'll try to note the middle point. I'll notch the middle point. So I've been able to notch the midpoint of my dress, of the neckline, the midpoint and the midpoint of my mandarin collar. So what I'll do is to just fix it this way. I'll fix the midpoint to each other, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and sew it round to the back, and then I'll do the same for the second side. Okay, I'm done fixing the first stitch. So the second stage now is to just close it up. Remember to cut off any thread. You see this? I just want to show you again. I joined it this way. Can you see? So I will now close it up inside. I will close it up inside. So I'll just take that's why I said you should iron it. So I'll just follow my ironing and then I'll finish it up. I'm done fixing it, so you can see it is really well laid. Just look at that. So I'll just fix what's it called, I'll fix buttons here. So I wanted it to overlap each other, and then that's all about today's tutorial. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would appreciate it. Like this video, share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.